Hi, good morning. So, the consequences of global warming. See, actually, we have seen how the global warming takes place in the nature. The global warming is mainly due to increase in the amounts of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. So, greenhouse gases. Okay, greenhouse gases. What are the greenhouse gases? Mainly carbon dioxide, methane, water vapor. Okay, to some extent, nitric oxide. To some extent, it is chlorofluorocarbons, ozone, etc. So these are the main causes for the global warming. These three are the main causes for the global warming. See why these substances are called as greenhouse gases? Because they have some special behavior, some peculiar behavior. These gases, okay, these greenhouse gases, they allow they allow short wavelength infrared radiations rays to pass through them, but stops or reflects or absorbs a long wavelength IR rays. Okay, so this peculiar behavior is present for greenhouse gases. Okay, so because of this behavior, so in the cold countries, where the sun or else the sun's heat is available only for very few months. So in cold countries, particularly in winter, the sunlight is not available, or else the sun energy, solar energy is not available. When solar energy is not available, the plants cannot grow well. They cannot get vegetables and other small plants. Okay, so in order to grow vegetables, these the people in cold countries, they grow the vegetables in very large sheds, and these sheds are completely closed by glass windows, by glass sheds. Okay, so inside this glass shed, this is the earth, and the plants will grow, the vegetables or else plants will grow, are allowed to grow. So what happened? Why this glass house is used? This glass sheds or glass house? Glass sheds or glass house? Because this glass behaves. Glass will show this behavior. That means it allows short infrared rays to pass through it. But that means the infrared rays which are coming from the sun, so they can easily pass through. Short infrared rays, they can easily pass through, and this earth and the plants, all these, they absorb these short infrared radiations. Okay, and after getting heated up, they re-emit the long infrared radiations. Okay, these are the long infrared rays. So long infrared rays, these long infrared rays, they cannot escape from the glass house or from the greenhouse. Okay, so I mean this is this called as glass house, or else it is called as greenhouse. Okay, because vegetables, greenery is present inside this. Okay, so now this glass house or greenhouse, it is behaving in such a way that it allows only short wavelength infrared radiation to pass into it, and that will provide necessary amount of heat to these I mean plants, and in turn they also re-emit long infrared radiations. But these long infrared radiations, they cannot escape. Simply they will be reflected back. Into the glass house. Therefore finally what happens, so the heat is trapped inside the glass house only, so the heat cannot escape outside of this glass house. So therefore the necessary or else sufficient amount of heat is available for the plants or else vegetables to for their growth. So in this way, the people from cold countries, they grow the vegetables in a special kind of glass sheds known as greenhouses. These are also called as greenhouses. Okay, right. So in the nature, this is okay. So in the nature, in the atmosphere, these gases or else these substances, these gases which are present in the atmosphere, they are also showing the same type of behavior like how the greenhouse shows. These gases will show the same behavior like how greenhouses shows, because greenhouses, they show this behavior. Okay, the same behavior is shown by these gases. Hence these gases are named as greenhouse gases. Okay, did you understand why these gases are named as greenhouse gases? Right. Okay. Now, if the amount of greenhouse gases is increased in the atmosphere, what happens? It leads to certain disasters. Particularly when the amount of greenhouse gases, when the concentration of the greenhouse gases increases, what happens? The average temperature of atmosphere is drastically increased. It is drastically increased. See, for the last 50 years, the average temperature, it has been raised by 1 degree centigrade. Last 50 years, average temperature is raised by 1 degree centigrade. Last 50 years. Okay, and nowadays the amount of greenhouse gases, they are dumped into the atmosphere in the large concentrations. So what happens? Again, it leads to further increase in the average temperature of the atmosphere. So if the greenhouse gases, if they are released into the atmosphere in this phase or in this speed, what happens? In the coming next very few decades, what happens? The average temperature may be increased by 3.6 degrees centigrade. Increase in the average temperature may take place. Suppose if the temperature is increased to 3.6 degrees centigrade, what happens? So if we dump these greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, like how we are emitting the greenhouse gases, or like how we are releasing the greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, with the same speed, if we continue for a few decades, what happens? Within few decades, the drastically, atmosphere and the nature gets damage, drastical damage. So now we will learn some of the drastic effects shown by this greenhouse effect. So the consequences of global warming we will learn. So first of all, what happens? If large amounts of greenhouse gases are released into the atmosphere, so what happens? Polar ice caps What are polar ice caps? That means in polar regions. The polar regions are very cold regions. Okay, where the water is frozen into ice. Water is frozen into ice. That means the water is trapped, mainly fresh water. It is trapped in the form of ice. So, if the earth temperature is raised to, large extent, if the average temperature is risen, what happens? The polar ice caps will melt. So, large amount of water is stored, or a large amount of water is trapped in the form of polar ice caps. So, if all that ice caps melts, what happens? So, then what happens? The level of sea or else ocean will rise. Then the consequence is the level of oceans or seas will rise. The level of oceans or seas will rise by about 10 meters. 10 meters. For example, this is the land and this is the water. Okay. Sea. So let us assume this up to sea level is like this. Okay. Let us assume that sea level is like this, or else ocean level is like this. So under normal condition it is like this. So what happens if polar ice caps are melt? So there will be rise in sea level by 10 meters. So that means 10 meters, the sea level will be raised by 10 meters. Here actually these are the beaches or also low-lying lands where some of the constructions or some of the industrial activities or else some people will live here. Okay, so when the temperature is raised, the level of water will rise by 10 meters, so that all this area will be drenched or else it will be sink into the sea water or else ocean water. So there will be large scale of damage in the coastal areas, coastal regions. Large scale destruction takes place. So the level of oceans, seas will rise by 10 meters. So as a result of this one, what happened? Coastal regions, there will be large scale destruction of coastal areas, coastal regions takes place. So this is one of the consequence. So that means all the habitat, that means all the living organisms will be sink in water. All the constructions will be collapsed. Okay, they will be sink in water. Like how Dwaraka. See Dwaraka, the city Dwaraka, it is present inside the water. So in the same way, now if the polar ice caps melts, the water will rise up, the sea level rises up, and it will sink the land. Okay, so like this, this is one of the consequence. The next consequence is glaciers may melt on the mountain. Glaciers may melt on the mountain. So what happens when glaciers melts on the mountain? Okay, severe shortage of water to the population takes place. That means here on mountain regions there are so many people, they stay on the mountain regions. Okay, so severe, due to this what happened? Severe water shortage to the people who lives on mountain regions. Actually, so glaciers are the main source for the source of water for the people who live in mountain regions. For the people who live in mountain regions, they get water from the glaciers. Okay, what happens if global temperature is raised, if the average temperature is raised by this much, what happens? Glaciers may melt on the mountain, therefore severe water shortage to the people takes place, so that the population cannot live there. Okay, so this is another consequence. Now let us learn the third consequence. Third consequence of global warming. The climate may change completely, causing severe floods and droughts. That means severe floods and droughts. Severe floods and droughts occurs. Flood is flood, and what is drought? Flood means the inflow of water. So large amounts of water will flow from the oceans, or else from the mountain regions, or else from the stored. Generally, what is stored? Water is trapped in the form of ice. So what happens? So when all the ice melts, so it leads to the floods, or else it may lead to droughts also. Drought means lack of water. So these such consequences also will occur due to global warming. And the next consequence is here it may cause reduce the crop production. It may reduce the crop production. When crop production is reduced, what happens? So it leads to famine. Famine means karu. Generally in Telugu we'll call it as karu. Karu means, that means we don't get anything to eat or else to live properly. So because crops are not producing, crops are there is no production of the crops. So when there is no sufficient production of the crop, what happens? So people will die due to starving, due to hungry. Okay, so that is one of the consequence of global warming. Okay, and also here the work efficiency of the human beings also will reduce. So work efficiency of human beings decreases. That means, so when there is high temperature, so we cannot show interest to do any work. Simply we'll try to take rest, because of high heat, large amount of heats are present. When it is present, when a large amount of heat is present, so we cannot do any work. Our body cannot do, because our body cannot cooperate. So we lose our efficiency to do work. So that is another consequence. Okay, that means work efficiency of human beings decreases. So like this, there are so many consequences. So we may write these are few consequences. Now let us learn. So how to control global warming. Okay, see, these are the things which are unwanted. Okay, so how to control the global warming? Global warming can be controlled by reducing the release of these greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. How to reduce the release of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere? Okay, so now let us learn a few things about the control. How to control global warming. How to control global warming. How to control global warming. Okay. So here, by using minimum amount of fossil fuels for the production of electric energy, see usage of fossil fuels should be minimized. Why do we use these fossil fuels? See, what are fossil fuels? The fuels like petroleum, natural gas, coal, etc. See, actually, these are produced from the dead plants and animals which were dead so many decades, so many hundreds of years back. Okay, when plants and animals they'll die, I mean hundreds or several hundreds of years ago, what happens? They become fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are nothing but the remnants. That means remaining parts of the dead plants and animals. Okay, right. So these are the important sources of energy. Now we are using these are the main sources for our energy. So what happens when these are used to harness the energy or else to produce the energy? Large amount of greenhouse gases are released into the atmosphere. So in order to reduce the release of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, we have to cut short the usage of fossil fuels. So that means usage of fossil fuels should be minimized. Okay, so in this way we can control the global warming levels, and also by using hybrid automobiles, hybrid engines, usage of hybrid automobiles, that means hybrid means mixed character. So that means the automobiles which may run by using petrol, natural gas, etc., and also they may be run by using mechanical energy, and they also may be run by using electrical energy. So and all these things. Nowadays we are using only I mean these are the energy sources for automobiles, but in future we will get hybrid automobiles. When we get hybrid automobiles, the usage of these fossil fuels will be shot down, so that the mechanical energy or else electrical energy or else solar energy, so and all those things, such sort of energy will be used to run such a hybrid automobiles. Okay, not only these automobiles not only run with these petroleum and natural gas, so they can also be run by from solar energy or mechanical energy and so on. So that means we have to use the hybrid automobiles. Okay, and also we have to use alternate source of energy. Alternate source of energy. So what is the source of energy we are using now? So mainly these are the sources of energy we are using now. Okay, so we have to shift the source of energy to solar energy, wind energy, wind energy, solar energy, wind energy, geothermal energy, tidal energy, okay, so etc. Even nuclear energy also, So what happens? So if you shift it, if you use the so the alternate source of energy, if we use these energies as the main source of energy, so that what happens, the usage of fossil fuels will be cut down, so that atmosphere will be somewhat gets benefited, because the amounts of greenhouse gases will be reduced in the atmosphere. Okay, and also we have to grow less paddy. Grow less paddy. See what happens in the paddy fields. In the paddy fields, the decaying of paddy matter, paddy related matter. Paddy means, so here rice, the plants which gives rice is said to be paddy. Okay, what happened? This the paddy related material, paddy related plants material. So what happened? They decay. They decay. So while decaying, what happens? They release methane gas. This is important. Methane gas is released from paddy fields. Methane gas is released from paddy fields. So during the decaying process of the plant material, okay, paddy plant material, large amount of methane gas is released. Okay, so that is why we have to grow less paddy. Okay, we have to encourage the people to eat the other cereals. Grow less paddy and encourage the people to shift to switch over to other cereals, or else to eat other cereals. Okay, other cereals. So instead of eating paddy, other cereals like wheat, jowar, okay, bajra, etc. etc. So instead of taking rice, instead of depending only on rice, people take wheat, jowar, bajra, ragi and other cereals if they eat. What happens? So the usage of paddy will be reduced and the growing of paddy will be reduced. So therefore the amount of methane gas released into the atmosphere will be reduced, so that the greenhouse effect or else global warming will be reduced. Okay, like this. So this is also one of the factor or else one of the method to control global warming. Okay, and the most important thing is afforestation. What is afforestation? What is afforestation? Afforestation means growing of plants. Okay, if we grow the plants to large extent, what happens? These plants will clean the environment. These plants will absorb the moisture, they will release. So if we grow the forest, afforestation means growing of large amount of plants. So that why do we grow plants generally? So we grow plants for our food and also for our respiration. That means for oxygen. So large amount of oxygen is released into the atmosphere. When large amount of oxygen is present in the atmosphere, so it will break down. Oxygen will break down the greenhouse gases. Okay, they convert the greenhouse gases into harmless gases. Okay, that means afforestation also will control the global warming, and also deforestation should be reduced. Deforestation should be reduced. So afforestation should be increased and deforestation should be reduced. That means cutting of forests, cutting of plants, large amount of plants or a large amount of trees, when they are cut, what happens? Amount of oxygen in the atmosphere gets reduced. So in order to improve the amount of oxygen in the atmosphere, we have to grow large amount of plants, not cutting the plants. That means afforestation should be increased and deforestation should be reduced. So these are some of the steps to control global warming. So like this. So this is all about global warming. Now let us learn about ozone depletion. That is also another type of another consequence of pollution. So the pollution may lead to global warming, the pollution may lead to acid rains, or else the pollution may lead to ozone depletion. So now we learn about ozone depletion. Ozone depletion. What is ozone depletion? Depletion means what? Reduction. Reduction in the amount. Reduction in the amount. Ozone. Amount of what? Amount of ozone. The O3 is the formula of ozone. Ozone has the formula O3. Okay. So how to here actually ozone depletion is one of the problem. So it is due to pollution, caused by pollutants, mainly pollutants like nitrogen oxides, oxides of nitrogen, methane, carbon monoxide, like oxides of nitrogen. NOx means oxides of nitrogen, methane, carbon monoxide. Here ozone depletion, carbon monoxide. Global warming, carbon dioxide. Okay. So the pollutant carbon monoxide will cause ozone depletion, whereas increase in large amount of carbon dioxide may cause global warming. Okay, fluorochlorocarbons. See, when these pollutants are released into the atmosphere in large amounts, what happens? It directly affect the ozone layer. So what is ozone layer? Suppose this is the Earth's surface. This is the Earth's surface. Above the Earth's surface, what do you find? We find what? Atmosphere. So this atmosphere, it extends up to 1,000 kilometers. So this atmosphere, it will extend up to 1,000 kilometers. So this entire atmosphere, it is divided into mainly 4 layers. Ionosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, okay, troposphere. So actually this troposphere, it will extend up to 12 kilometers. Up to 12 kilometers you will find a troposphere. About 12 kilometers, that means entire length of the atmosphere, it is 1,000 kilometers. So above troposphere you will find stratosphere. In stratosphere, what happens? See, actually this is the sun and the sun rays. So sun rays will produce continuously UV rays. Sun rays contains UV, ultraviolet rays. So here actually in stratosphere, what happens? So in this area, so the oxygen which is present in the stratosphere, so due to when UV rays fall on oxygen, so oxygen molecules, they react with each other. Oxygen molecules they react with each other, and finally they are converted into ozone. Oxygen molecule, they react with each other, and finally they convert into ozone. In this way, ozone is it is formed in the upper region of the atmosphere. So this is the lower region, lower atmosphere, and this is upper, and above troposphere, it is called as upper region. So in the upper region of the atmosphere, so due to sun rays, due to UV rays, what happens? The oxygen molecule, they chemically combine with each other, they react with each other, and finally they form ozone molecules. Okay, so like this way the ozone is produced. And this ozone, what is the use? What is the main use of this ozone? See, the UV rays which are coming from the sun, they are stopped here only. Most of the ultraviolet rays are filtered in the in this ozone layer only. Okay, and some of the ultraviolet radius, they are reflected back into the space, so that very little amount of ultraviolet rays are allowed to fall into the stratosphere, and finally they reach to the earth surface. So very little amount of UV rays will reach the earth surface. Most of the ultraviolet rays are filtered in the ozone layer only, in the stratosphere. So this is called as ozone layer. Okay, so like this, in this way, ozone will protect us. Ozone will protect us from the harmful effects of ultraviolet rays by acting as a shield. So this will act as a shield. That means shield means which can protect. So that means ozone will act as a shield and protect us from the harmful ultraviolet rays. Okay, like this. So what damages are caused by ultraviolet rays if the ozone is not present? So now let us learn about the damages of ultraviolet rays if ozone is not there. Okay, if ozone is not there, what happens? Now let us learn about the consequences or else the damages which are caused when ozone is not present. Mainly the damage is caused by ultraviolet rays, UV rays. Damage caused by UV rays. What are UV rays? UV rays means ultraviolet rays. Okay. See, actually UV rays or else ultraviolet rays, they are highly energetic radiations. They are highly energetic. They are highly energetic radiations. They are highly energetic radiations. If they reach to the surface of the earth in large amounts, it leads to damage. As these are highly energetic radiation, what happens? They should be filtered in the upper atmosphere only, because if they reach to the earth surface, what happens? They cause large amount of damage to the plants, to the living organisms. Okay, mainly to the living organisms. So we learned what are the damages that are caused by UV rays. First point, they can cause blindness because they burn retina. The UV rays burn retina. What is retina? Retina is a substance which is present in the eyes. In the eyes, you will find a substance known as retina. It helps in the visibility. So if retina is damaged, then we cannot see. So if the UV rays burn retina, what happens? It leads to blindness. Okay, that means UV rays will burn retina. So one of the damage caused by UV rays is, and also they cause skin cancer, and because UV rays cause skin cancer, what happens? So UV rays, they react with skin cells. Okay, the skin cells, UV rays, cause skin cancer. How? In what way? Means UV rays bring mutations. What are mutations? Mutation means sudden changes in skin cells. they bring mutations in skin cells. That means they bring sudden changes in skin cells. So due to this, what happened? The skin cells, they grow rapidly. That means they divide rapidly. So normally skin cell, one cell will divide into two cells, and two cells will divide into four cells, and so on. So over a period of time it takes place. But when mutations takes place, what happens? The skin cells, they suddenly they change their behavior, and within no time the skin cells will overgrowth. They show overgrowth. Okay, the overgrowth of cells is said to be cancer. What is cancer? Cancer is nothing but what? Overgrowth of cells. Overgrowth of cells is called as cancer. So it leads to skin cancer. Okay, right. Overgrowth of the cells takes place because UV rays bring mutations in the skin cells. Next, our immune system gets weakened. So UV rays weaken our immune system. If immune system is weakened, what happens? So if immune system is weakened, then those organisms will be attacked by diseases, so many diseases, that organism becomes very weak, and finally it leads to death. So immunity system should be strong. But what happens when large amount of UV rays fall on any organism? What happens? The immunity of that organisms is damaged. Okay, or else it is weakened. So that is the one of the damage caused by UV rays. Okay, next one. They disrupt the function of DNA. They disrupt the function of DNA. DNA does not function well. See, everything or else every function of our body is decided by DNA. Okay, if DNA is not working properly, what happens? It leads to a large amount of destruction of the human body. Not only human body, all the living organisms. So every function of the living organism is controlled by DNA. DNA is called as genetic material. So what happens when UV rays fall on cells or else on the organisms? What happens? It disturbs the function of DNA. Okay, right. So in this way, it also reduces the chlorophyll content. It reduces the chlorophyll content. Okay, so that the quality of therefore quality of vegetables quality of vegetables, what happens is becomes less, low quality. Quality of vegetables is damaged. Why? Because what is the use of chlorophyll? Chlorophyll is the substance which is present in the leaves. So if chlorophyll is not there, the food material is not prepared. What happens here? UV rays will reduce the chlorophyll content. Therefore the production of food by the plants becomes less. So therefore the vegetables, they contain less quality. The quality of the vegetables is damaged because those vegetables contains only very less food content. See, generally we eat vegetables for food. Okay, we take vegetables as food because vegetables will provide necessary materials for our growth, like minerals, carbohydrates, proteins, etc. These are necessary. So these are the food materials. These are the substances which are present in the food materials. So these substances are not prepared in the vegetables well. Therefore the quality of the vegetables gets damaged. So this is all due to the reduction in the amount of chlorophyll. Why reduction in the amount of chlorophyll takes place? Because of UV rays have that ability, they will reduce the chlorophyll content in the plant. So in this way, UV rays will cause large amount of damage. Okay, so much damage. So these are some of the some of the consequences of or some of the damages caused by UV rays we learned. Now, suppose how to prevent or else how to stop the UV rays to fall on the earth surface. So this job is done by ozone. Ozone, what happens? It stops the it stops or else it filters the entry of UV rays into the earth surface. Ozone will stop, it will prevent the harmful effects of UV rays. Ozone will absorb the UV rays in the upper atmosphere only. Okay. So here, this ozone layer, see, already we have seen in stratosphere, you will find ozone layer. This is stratosphere, and this is what? This is earth surface, this is troposphere. See, this is ozone layer. Ozone layer. See, already we have seen certain substances like nitric oxide, methane, carbon monoxide, fluorochlorocarbons, okay, etc. etc. So these substances, when they are released into the atmosphere in large amounts, so these substances they directly reach to ozone layer. These substances will react with ozone layer. And they damage or else they reduce the amount of ozone present in the ozone layer. They react with ozone layer. They react with the ozone. And finally what happens? Damage of ozone layer takes place. Damage of ozone layer takes place. So here the damage of ozone layer due to such these are the pollutants. Such pollutants is said to be ozone depletion. It is called as ozone depletion. Mainly due to this one, what happens? Certain holes, some holes are created. Holes are produced. Holes are created, okay, in the ozone layer. In the ozone layer. Due to damage, some holes are created in the ozone layer. These are called as ozone holes. Ozone holes. Ozone holes. So through these ozone layers, what happens when ozone holes are formed? So these ozone holes allow UV rays to fall on Earth surface. Okay, so in order to prevent the fall of UV rays on the Earth surface, so we should not ozone hole should not be there. So in order to prevent the formation of ozone hole, so the ozone layer should not be damaged. So in order to stop the damage of ozone layer, so we have to stop the release of these gases into the atmosphere. So these gases mainly will lead to the formation of ozone layer, ozone holes, and ultimately through these ozone holes ultraviolet rays fall on the Earth surface. See, scientists have already detected 2 ozone holes near the polar caps. Mainly 2 ozone holes they have discovered. 2 ozone holes are discovered by the scientists. Near polar caps. Okay, near polar caps, scientists have discovered these ozone holes. Right. How to control or else how to protect the ozone hole or the ozone layer? How to control the formation of ozone holes or else how to protect the ozone layer? Now let us learn how to protect the ozone layer. How to protect the ozone layer? So first one is simply pollution of the air should be controlled, mainly nitrogen oxides and carbon monoxide. So that means by controlling the pollution of air, mainly due to uh, mainly by mainly I mean mainly due to mainly by controlling the oxides of nitrogen, carbon monoxide release, by controlling the release of nitrogen oxides and carbon monoxide. These are the main things, nitrogen oxides and carbon monoxide. If we control the release of these substances, so large amount of ozone can be protected. Okay, and also usage of fluorochlorocarbon should be stopped, because refrigeration industries, they use these chlorofluorocarbons. That means usage of chlorofluorocarbon. CFC means okay, usage of chlorofluorocarbon should be stopped. See where these chlorofluorocarbons are coming from. They are mainly coming from refrigeration industries. They are mainly coming from refrigeration industries. What is the meaning of refrigeration industry? Refrigeration industry. Example, cold storage. See, cold storage houses are present. In order to store the fruits or else vegetables, we use cold storage houses. So cold storage houses where the low temperatures are maintained. See how these low temperatures are maintained. So in order to maintain low temperatures in cold storage houses, they use chlorofluorocarbons. And also sprays also contain chlorofluorocarbons. Some sprays where the chlorofluorocarbons are used, so the usage of sprays should also be stopped. Okay, and also insecticides, fungicides. So here actually the sprays, these sprays are used in toiletries, insecticides, fungicides. Okay, so in the spraying of insecticides, fungicides, for the cleaning of toiletries, so we use some sprays, and those sprays contains chlorofluorocarbons. So at least we have to reduce the usage of certain things. What happens? The ozone layer gets protected. Therefore, the formation of ozone holes does not take place further, or else the ozone hole diameter it reduces. Okay, the ozone hole's diameter, when it is reduced, what happens? Less amount of UV rays will fall onto the earth's surface, so that the damage to the earth's surface or else living organisms will be reduced. So these are some of the measures to control the or else to protect the ozone layer. So this is all about ozone depletion and the protection of ozone layer, and how the ozone is formed, and how the what are the damages caused by the ultraviolet rays, and so on. So now we will learn the other things in the next class.